Web design is constantly changing and evolving, and as web designers, it's important for us to stay on top of the trends. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 trends that I see getting really popular as we move into 2025. Immersive experiences are a trend that you're going to want to be looking out for in 2025. Gone are the days of building standardized WordPress looking templates where everything has to fit perfectly into this 1140 kind of grid, and it's a 12 column grid. Those days are done. Instead, we need to immerse and engage the user into this experience that makes them get lost and enjoy the website that they are browsing. Let's start with a really safe version of this. Here you can see we still have some of that standardized alignment on the right and left-hand sides, but we still have things like typography on the left, image on the right, but we're starting to break the grid just a little bit. We're starting to kind of explore and immerse the user in something that's a little bit bigger, a little bit more exciting. Let's take it up a notch and take a look at this example. That's a very narrative, story-driven experience. And you can see in this example from top to bottom, it feels like I'm immersed in this story with imagery and kind of book selection. 3D is kind of helping me to do this. It makes me feel like I'm actually perusing a bookstore and actually opening up to read the chapters. Let's take a look at another example. This is a very simple one page, nothing's happening here, has a little bit of 3D, but again, everything just feels a little bit bigger. The typography is a little bit bigger. This layout is not super usable, but it is very immersive. Let's take a look at another example. This one over at herocollective.co is exploring both story-driven narrative and full-blown visual kind of immersion into this experience. This feels less like I am on a website and more like I've stepped into a Harry Potter billboard. I'm living it, I'm feeling it, whether it is animation, the grittiness, the texture, the color, all of these things come together to really pull me into this experience. And once I'm here, I like this world and I want to stay in this world. Let's take a look at one more example of immersive experience. This is Off Menu, which is a fantastic agency, and this is their website. You can see all you do as you immerse yourself in this website is kind of scan through. And so we have this experience that's kind of fun, it's unique, it's interesting. It would not have been very popular as far as a user experience back in the early 2000s or 2010s because it just wasn't standardized. So we're talking about less standardized, more immersive experiences. This is going to be a huge trend to look out for. Let's talk about wild color. The internet has been a fairly safe place for all of these years, but we're starting to step back into a little bit of punk rock, gritty, wild expression of art, design, and color specifically inside of our web designs. This is Flow Party. I love this. They are so playful with the colors. This blue, this green, this pink, the whole thing comes together. It is a little bit immersive, but notice they are not shy about color. They lean into this bright color. They lean into this fun typography because color helps to set the tone for the experience. Are you noticing here that these trends are leaning into breaking the mold, having fun, being experiential and immersive? I think I'm realizing that as well. But the color should shout a little bit at our user instead of being really hyper professional. Let's be more playful with color. Here's another great example. This is goodbytes.be, and again, super wild layout, super crazy, but the color is just kind of unashamed. Red, yellow, we got an entire kind of like cool and yellow and pink pattern over here, overlaid with this 3D element. Again, insane color palette. It kind of looks like my 12-year-old daughter made this website, and I'm okay with it. I'm kind of into it. Aren't you into it? It's a lot of fun. Let's take a look at another one, a little bit more on the monochromatic side of things, but still very expressive with this brand green color. As I scroll down, again, big color, big usage of that color, and again, bringing the elements out in front. This is an immersive experience, but it's also a colorful experience. So learn how to be unashamed with color, learn how to use color, learn how to be bold and playful, because if a picture is worth 1,000 words and people are reading books by their cover, then make that cover really interesting. Use color to do it. Since we're talking about web design trends for 2025, the sponsor of this video makes perfect sense, and that's Mobbin.com. Mobbin is my ultimate go-to resource for web design inspiration and guidance. It offers a wealth of curated examples of beautiful web design. So if you're looking for trends, trying to figure out how to keep your pulse on the industry, then Mobbin's the place to go. You can easily explore navigation patterns and typography and fonts and different examples to inspire your web design journey. I especially love Mobbin's powerful search functionality, which allows you to drill down on specific companies, specific websites, or specific types of patterns. If you're looking for a hero section, boom, you can find it. Need to figure out how to design your next mega menu? Done. Not only can you research and find these inspirations, but you can easily download them, organize them, and bring them directly into your design project. If you're looking to be inspired, find that guidance, and stay on top of web design trends, head over to mobbin.com, sign up for an account. 3D was super popular in 2024. It's going to continue to be popular in 2025 because of tools like Spline that allow people who are not great, like me, at building 3D assets to get in there and start trying our hand at creating some 3D imagery. And you can see we have some great examples here on Dribbble. Things have rotation and they have movement and three-dimensionality. It's just a whole lot of fun. You could take a boring website, I would call this a fairly standard layout, add a little bit of 3D, and you kind of have some magic happening. Here's another good example here on Dribbble. Once we get these elements out of the way, on hover, we're kind of exposing really cool 3D elements. Again, it's a little bit of an experimental layout, still kind of standard, but that 3D just makes things pop quite a bit. Let's take a look at a live example. This is Cosmos.studio, a really cool design studio. And you can see they're using 3D again in this immersive way. Are we seeing some reuses of these trends? Yes, we are. Immersive, but using the 3D elements as part of that immersion. And actually what this is doing is it's creating a story, and my main character is, I'm being led through the story using this 3D character. So it very much feels like the whole thing was storyboarded. Again, more 3D as I'm moving through three-dimensional space towards all the elements. This is a really cool example. Let's take a look at one more, and this is styleport.co.jp. And again, they're using three-dimensionality or 3D elements in a very cool way, actually taking something that could have been a pretty standard or boring layout, just some typography moving through the middle of the screen. Why not push it through a three-dimensional ring or hoop? Let's do that. It just adds this level of expressiveness. Now again, we're bringing that three-dimensional element down through the story as we tell it. I don't speak or read Japanese, but I am in awe of the beautiful design, and it's mainly because the 3D elements are so impressive. With AI making a big impact on the design community and the world at large, the more human that we could get, the better actually, and that's why a huge trend to watch out for is hand-drawn elements. Hand-drawn elements add this feeling of humanity. It kind of brings things back down to earth. We got a really good example here. This is not what I would call really polished, really insane illustration, very sketched out, very hand-drawn. Again, it kind of anchors the whole thing. You can see the following example for this one as we kind of scroll down. Yes, these are a little bit of those kind of stylized illustrations, but they feel a little bit more sketched out. Again, even things like our arrows that are much more kind of like rigid and hand-drawn. Let's go into this example we have. This is like some hand-drawn or hand-painted art. Again, this falls in the same category, something that feels like it was handmade, like it was actually done on paper and pencil or in watercolor. Anything like that is going to give you more of that human edge, that human feeling, and that's going to maybe stir up a little bit of emotion or connection for users on a website. Here's another great example that's kind of a hodgepodge. We're using hand-drawn elements, textures, paper tears. We are back into the world of punk rock and grungy elements and drop shadow. I'm pretty happy about that because if it's applied correctly with beautiful typography, it can look modern, it can look fresh, but still look down to earth and approachable. Another great example here on this Dribbble design is this kind of hand-drawn or sketched out T-Rex. Again, a very different style, a unique style than what you might see. Now you might be saying, hey, these are a bunch of Dribbble examples. Where is this happening in real life? I think Notion is a great example of a very clinical product, a very simple product product or modern product, but by adding some of this hand-drawn nature or elements to it, it kind of brings some of that humanness to it. Makes it feel like maybe it's a tool for me. Again, very standard kind of like product information, product shots that are kind of balanced with these hand-drawn illustrations. I also really appreciate that in the world of AI, that Notion has decided not to go with the little AI sparkles, but instead they have a little hand-drawn face. It's cute and it makes me happy. And so hand-drawn elements do exactly that. They add a level of cuteness, humanness, and they just make people happy. Let's be real, it's 2025, so at this point we've seen about a gazillion websites, and those top hero sections are all starting to look the same. And that's why a trend to look out for is experimental hero sections. You can see a good example of this. This is a user experience nightmare. It's not great. It's not going to be easy to program or code. It's not going to be easy to build, and it's not easy on the eye. But you know what? It's different, and that is the overarching trend that we're seeing. We need stuff to stand out. We need it to be different. It needs to start above the fold at the top of the page, and adding something like this really loose kind of bento grid might be a way to do it. There's a lot more of this happening. You can see another example of it here. Again, large typography, fun with color, feels a little bit more immersive, but we're adding strange cutouts and shapes. The whole thing is not structured. It is not super WordPress 2010. It's very unique and it pops. It just kind of grabs your attention. Here's some live examples of some of these more experimental or interesting hero sections. This is steviaplease.me. Again, a very unique hero section. We have kind of this physics-driven, interactive kind of like bottom section, this bento. And then you have also this interactive bento grid up here at the top. This is what happens when you land on this site. And it's really, really interesting. Let's take a look at another one. We're going to refresh this. This is blimp.gr. Check out these hand-drawn elements following my cursor around. But this is the hero of the website. It doesn't just have that age-old center-aligned header with text and a button or a call to action or some sort of hero image involved. It's a grid. It's interesting. It's black and white. It kind of stands out. The fact that it is black and white and has this non-traditional grid makes it different from everything else. And speaking about different from everything else, here's a way to bring all of that together. This is labs.chaingpt.org. They're bringing in a lot of these concepts we've talked about so far all in one. We have really interesting use of color. We have 3D elements here happening with our little kind of 3D asset and animation. We have movement. We have grids. We have things that are a little bit more immersive and unexpected and experimental. We still to this day have 2 to 3 seconds to grab people's attention, and that old school templated hero section just ain't gonna cut it anymore. You gotta mix it up. You gotta experiment. You gotta get outside of the box and do something to grab people's interests. Those are just a few of the web design trends that I see popping off as we move into 2025. What trends do you see? Let me know down in the comments. I would love to start a conversation. And if you're interested, jump over to the Design Champs, sign up for a free account, and let's continue the conversation over there. That's a place where we can learn and grow, encourage, and inspire each other as designers. So meet me there at designchamps.io. The link is down in the description. Also, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I do lots of videos about design, development, and design trends just like this one. So ring the bell so you know when more videos come out. I hope you're having an amazing week. I hope you're designing amazing things, making amazing things, and staying on top of the trends. We'll see you in the next one.